Hello, beautiful souls. Suzy Rains here. And today I'm going to share with you some of the divine inspiration, download information from my higher self, divine self, collective, our divine creator, all of those spiritual guides that I call in every morning when I do my meditation. And I was inspired and directed by them to share this message with you. So if you're seeing this message, it's for you. Yes, you are in the right place. You were drawn to it for some reason. And so here you are. We are here together. And I have been on my own healing personal journey for the last year and a half. In the last few months, before we started, Kimberly and I started the Circle of Divine Souls channel. We've been collecting information from our own messages from the divine. So we've been channeling and getting visions and getting messages and all these things happening. And this is new for me. So I'm sharing my story. I've been divinely guided to be an example for people who are just starting to experience this or not sure how to make sense of it or are called and drawn to want to do more with connecting to the divine, connecting to their divine self, connecting to their spiritual guides, connecting to what's out there beyond this physical plane. And so part of being an example is I'm going to share with you my story of how this is unfolding. Over a year ago, I was healing from some past childhood developmental trauma. I was a medic in the Army and spent a year in Iraq and was healing from PTSD and a lot of trauma trapped in my nervous system, in my physical body, which happens to us being here, us being these divine beings that are in a human body. We have our nervous system in our human body that protects us from anything that could go wrong. The issue comes when we keep that with us, that energy gets trapped in our body from past trauma. And I know Kimberly has talked about that. So I had my healing journey last year and was removing a lot of this energy and getting it out of my body to where now I can tap into my divine self. I can hear and I can feel and I can see all of the divine things that are coming to me. And it's allowing me to be more conscious. Going in, I can ask for things to be revealed to me and have more consciousness. And I'm reading and studying and understanding. And so one of the things that has come to me is the manifest. And so as I've been growing, so in the last couple of months, Kimberly and I were talking and she was talking to me about her channeling and like she's been doing that her whole life. And I'm like, this is so new to me. Like, I don't know what's happening and I'm getting this intuition and I'm not sure what to do with it. And so one of the things that I started doing is I started to journal as I'm getting these messages. And I started it 2 months ago, been about 2 months now. And I'm going to share with you a couple of pages what it looked like. I couldn't even read my handwriting. I had so much flowing from the divine into me and then coming out of a pen. So I had a pen and paper and I was just scribbling. And um, it was just happening so fast that I couldn't keep up with what they were saying, the things that were happening. And I was trying to write and I just let it flow. I didn't even try to make sense of it. I just let it flow and I listened and I kind of just was with it and just let it happen. And then over time, and Kimberly really helped me with this, and this is something that is her gift. She's been doing this for a long time, her whole life. She grew up in a family that was an energetic family. So um, she's used to the understanding of energy healing and tapping into spirit and getting messages from everywhere, like everything, infinite, everything, universe, divine self, divine creator, source energy. Like she's comfortable receiving. And so I was like, Kimberly, what do I do with this? Like, I can't even read it. And she said, Suzy, you can slow them down. So I started practicing. So every morning when I meditate, I ask a question. What do I need to know today? And then I actually have gotten to where I can slow them down. A lot of times they'll give me lots of information and I'm like, whoa, I can't keep up. And so I write as I'm channeling. So I'm writing what it is that's coming through and just taking notes of it. And then once I'm done with that, then when I'm done meditating and I'm finished, a lot of times I'll do a silent meditation and just sit with myself, allowing the gap, allowing the silence of thought, of everything, just letting thoughts float by to be able to clear my energy. I've started doing the Ho'oponopono meditation. If you haven't heard of that, that's one you can ask us about, um, where I'm clearing my energy field, allowing things to move out. And this is something new for me, moving all of this negative energy that I might have picked up from generations. So, not even just this lifetime, but generational stuff. So, I've been working on that. And one thing that came to me, this is what I'm going to share on this video today, is during this process of writing and channeling and every morning asking, what do I need to know? What was given to me and gave very clearly is to teach a step, a way to step through manifesting. So we're always manifesting, all of us, all the time. It is who we are. We are creators. We are divine beings in a body here right now, and we're creating with our thoughts. Thought comes in, and if you speak it, it's really powerful. It's going to manifest. So a lot of times people are like, well, I want to manifest what I want. I don't want to manifest all these things that are happening that I don't want. What's happening is there's a lot of moving parts. And they said, Suzy, we're going to give you an acronym for manifest, the word manifest, MANIFEST. So they gave me a step way to go through. Each step is valuable and vital to the whole process of intentionally manifesting. So a lot of times people will say, I'm thinking about it and I'm focusing on it and I'm letting it go and I'm this and I'm that. And we're doing pieces and parts of manifesting our intentional thing, but we miss sometimes, or we have a trauma. We have something blocking. So we have an energetic block. Could be a childhood developmental trauma. It could be trauma that you had last week. It could be anything that is in your nervous system that is defending you. So it's like, nope, I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go there. And so you're trying to manifest, and the universe is like, well, I'm not going to give that to you because your energy field is saying no. Your energy field is protecting you, so we're not going to let you manifest that. And so going through this step of manifest, and I'm going to have slides, so it's going to be visually easy to follow. And I also have this in a PDF. So if you're interested in getting a copy of this, comment below. You can join our Circle of Divine Souls, getting the daily soul message. If you sign up for that with the link that's below this video, then we'll have your email address. So you can just comment and say, hey, send me the PDF, and we can get that out to you. But the whole thing is, when you go through the steps, you'll see where it is that you have a block. So as you start with one, you're like, oh, this is easy. I'm meditating. I'm good. This is smooth. No problem. And then maybe you get to identity and you go, oh, yeah, this is where I have a block. For some reason, I can't identify. I can't bring in the identity of this, or feel. Feel is one of the steps. It might be that you get to the feel stage and you go, I'm not feeling anything. That was my issue. When I was first healing from past trauma, I couldn't feel anything because I was defensive. I had a defensive pattern that was like, nope, you're going to just plow through life and nothing's going to affect you. It's all going to bounce off and you're going to be good. The problem with not feeling is you can't feel joy any more than you can feel pain. So I was suppressing pain feeling, and at the same time suppressing joy feeling. So when I was trying to manifest, and it was like, well, feel what it feels like to have the desire. And I'm like, there's nothing there. How do I feel it? I don't have a feeling. So that was my trauma process of healing through that past trauma, taking all that trauma layers of in my energy field and out of my nervous system and just healing that. And through somagetics is where that came from. So if you're wondering, how did you do that, Suzy? The somagetics program, trauma energetics program, that's where I did that. And then there are links that you can go to that below this video too. We'll put a link down to the Somagetic Sanctuary, which is a free community for you to explore that. So that was how I, healing through the childhood trauma, healing through those energetic blocks, those things that were happening. And again, I just want to reiterate to you, this is a practice. It's not something that you do once and then you're like, whoop, I'm good. That's all I got to do. This is something that I do daily with my meditation, daily quieting myself, listening, asking, what do I need to know today? Going inside and then tapping into the divine. This is a daily practice. That's why we send out daily soul messages. The daily soul messages are inspired messages, either coming directly from our divine council, which is the divine source energy, universe, divine creation, whatever name you're going to use. Those messages, when you see those in the daily soul message, they're from the divine council, which is what Kimberly and I call it that because it's a collective. It's like a big collective of energy source. Um, but sometimes I get inspired from a book I'm reading. So like I read Dr. Wayne Dyer and I'm reading Deepak Chopra right now and some other books. I'm in programs with other spiritual people who follow these things. And so if something inspires me to be like, ooh, share that message, those are going to come in the daily soul message as well. So what you're going to get in those daily soul messages are things that are coming through Kimberly and myself in various ways. And those emails are going to have, oh, here's a message that Suzy got for herself. And then it probably is going to mean something to you because I'm not going to share it unless they say, hey, you should share this in the email. We're all connected. So I'm a business owner. I have Starting a Business Simplified, and I'm actually teaching the universal laws on my podcast for that. And the law of divine oneness, we are all connected. That was actually in my message this morning. We are all connected. It's a common theme. It happens all the time. You can go out and search other YouTube videos about the law of divine oneness, and you're going to find that they're all saying the same thing. We are all connected. So if a message comes to me, it's also probably coming to hundreds of thousands, if not millions and billions of other people. They just are they tapped in? Are they listening? So that's the goal. So I am going to jump into the teaching. It's going to be a video that I'm going to attach to this video. It's going to walk you through the manifest acronym. That's going to walk you through the steps of intentional manifestation. So intentionally, I'm going to intentionally manifest. And if you would like to join our daily soul messages, please click below where you have a way to sign up, and you'll get those to your inbox every day. If you have any questions or concerns, when you sign up to the daily soul message, you can reply to Kimberly and myself if you have any questions there, or you can comment below, ask us to reach out. We're happy to do that. So have a beautiful day, and let's get into the teaching. All right. Welcome to Intentional Manifesting. I'm Suzy Rains, and I'm going to walk you through an acronym that you can use to intentionally manifest. So the acronym for manifest is meditate, ask, name, identity, feel, expression, signs, and truth. I'm going to go through each one of these in detail of how you can use this to identify what are some areas that maybe you need to do more work to heal, grow, expand, or learn more about yourself in order to really use that step in intentional manifesting. We are all manifesting all the time. And this was something that was given to me by my spiritual guides. My divine self gave me this specific acronym to share with people, because a lot of times I work with people who have past trauma that is blocking them. I'm a business foundations coach and trauma energetics coach. And what happens is when people are trying to move forward and they want to make changes, and they're like, well, I want to do things differently, or I want to create a business, or I want to have a better relationship, or whatever it is that they're trying to do. If there are blocks energetically, traumas that are in our nervous system that we haven't processed through or anything like that, they're going to show up in one of these areas. So you might be intentionally manifesting thinking, you're using your brain, you're thinking about what you want to do to manifest. And what's happening is you're getting blocked. So your energy's blocked in one of these areas. But a lot of times we don't know what it is that's blocking us or where to start becoming aware of where that block is. And so following this acronym, you might find that it's really easy for you to meditate. But when you get to the expression, you're like, that's challenging for me, or you're not seeing signs, or it's hard for you to actually name it. So we're going to go through each one of these. It's going to give you a guide, a way that you can intentionally manifest. And I'm going to give you an example of how this has worked for me using these steps. And it has manifested something intentionally in my life, and it's powerful. So let's get into each one of these. I'll walk through them and then I'll come back and I'll share my example. So meditate. This is the M. Meditation is a practice of aligning with the mindful awareness of your inner self, nurturing your connection to the divine, and intuitively tuning into spiritual flow. It involves engaging in stillness to surrender to higher guidance, creating transformation within yourself. That's a lot of words. What does that mean? It means that when you get quiet and you listen to your higher self, divine guidance, asking is the next step, but you're just going to take a minute and get quiet. Be aware of your inner self. Be aware of your higher guidance and allow the energy to be there. Allow that to flow. That's the M. The A is for ask. So now we're in the meditative state. We're going to seek guidance from our higher self, the divine creator or spiritual guides, and asking for clarity and support. You're going to open yourself up to receive these intuitive messages that align with your soul's purpose. You're going to trust that the answers you seek are available and being open to receiving them. You're going to be meditating for asking for signs, asking for inner wisdom, asking for a vision of what it is that you are desiring. What are you intentionally manifesting? This step deepens your connection to divine energy and supports your manifestation of your true desires. So this is going to give you that you're in the meditative state and then you're going to ask. I like to ask the question, what does it look like when my desire is fulfilled? What does that look like? And it helps me to tap into that. The N now is going to be for naming. So you're in the meditative state, you're asking, you're in that flow. Now you're going to name what it is that you're manifesting. The importance of clearly identifying and declaring your desire. By naming what you want to manifest, you're going to bring clarity and intention to your goals. So you're asking your divine self, the divine intuition, energy, give me a vision of what this looks like, this desire, what it looks like. And now you're going to name that. It involves acknowledging your dreams and being specific about what you wish to create in your life. Naming your desires activates your focus and aligns your energy with the process of manifestation, setting the stage for them to become reality. So you're going to say this out loud. You're going to use your voice, opening up your throat chakra, name what it is that you're manifesting. Now we have I, identity or integration. To manifest effectively, you must shift your mindset to reflect the identity of someone who already has what they seek. This might be a difficult step for some people. They ask, well, I don't know what that looks like. This is again where you can go back to the ask and ask your divine self to show you, what does it look like? This involves adopting beliefs, behaviors, and attitudes that match your goals. So if you don't know what that looks like, ask your divine self to give you a vision. What do I need to behave like? What attitude should I have when I reach this goal? By fully integrating this new identity into your daily life, you naturally align with the energy and actions needed to bring your desires into reality, making manifestation a seamless process. So this is something that You're going to ask for help if you can't identify and you're not sure. You can also use this by taking action and going and looking at. So, for example, I'm going to use a new home, for example. If you're manifesting a new home, but you're not quite sure what type of home you want, so you're having a hard time understanding what identity you need to bring in to be that homeowner, you can go search on Zillow. Go out to a real estate site and look at houses. Find the ones that really resonate with you. And then you can ask again. So get into meditating again and then ask, give me a vision. I had this actually happened to be a good example at this point. I am currently manifesting a home and property in Alaska. And my guide and my higher self and the divine, they gave me a vision of what that house looks like, what the property looks like. And I actually drew it on a piece of paper. So when we ask, we will get an answer. The identity piece, again, if you're struggling with this piece, you can go out and get outside help, look at things, follow. If you're looking for an identity of success in a certain area of your life, go follow people who are successfully doing what it is that you want to be successful at. Go watch. How do they act? What behaviors do they have? What is their attitude? And then you can adopt that. Say, okay, I need to act this way, helping yourself to step into that identity. Now we're going to move on to F. And this is feel. This one was really hard for me. Connecting emotionally with your desires to manifest effectively, it's essential to feel the emotions associated with already having what you want. This step involves tapping into the joy, gratitude, and excitement you would experience if your goals were already achieved. By aligning your feelings with your intentions, you raise your energetic frequency, making it easier to attract and manifest your desires. Emotion is the bridge that connects your inner vision to outer reality. That's a lot. When I started intentionally manifesting, I didn't get very far. This was the step that I was stuck on. So what I talked about in the beginning when I said, if you have a place that you're stuck when you're going through these steps, this is where I needed to work. This is where I needed to be aware. Why am I not feeling? Why can't I feel? Why can't I step into that joy, gratitude, excitement? I was energetically blocked. I had a defensive pattern happening from childhood trauma, childhood developmental trauma. I was a medic in Iraq. I had trauma from that. All of these things that my body, my nervous system energetically was blocking. I couldn't feel joy, gratitude, and excitement because I was blocking pain and anxiety and things that had happened in those different life stages. So this was an area that I needed to go and work on removing that trauma energy, removing that when we're in a defensive pattern. Let me describe it this way. When we have a defensive pattern happening, it's our energetically in our nervous system, in our body, we are saying, I'm protecting you from anything that can happen. So when we're defending ourselves, we can't create because I was thinking I'm trying to manifest and my energy was saying, no, I'm not ready. I'm defending her to make sure she's okay. So thinking through that, if this is a step that you're struggling with, you can reach out and get help with it. This is what I help with my clients when I work with people with trauma energetics coaching. This is the area I work with them on because a lot of them cannot feel. They can't get to the energy in their body because they're defending. So this is one you may have to work. E is expression or expressing. This step involves verbalizing, just like naming, visualizing, or or creatively expressing your goals, helping to solidify them in your reality. Whether through affirmations, journaling, or sharing your vision with others, expression is about actively stating your intentions, which strengthens your focus and commitment. By expressing your desires, You align your thoughts, words, and actions, creating a powerful energy that supports the manifestation process. So that being said, when you name it, you're naming it to bring it to creation. Expression is where you creatively and visually, verbally, all the things, you go into inspired action. So for example, I'm manifesting a house and property in Alaska. I tell people all the time, we're moving to Alaska. We're moving to Alaska. That's a beautiful way for me to express what it is that I'm bringing into reality. So share it with people if you feel comfortable. There are some manifestations that you want to keep to yourself because it'll be so exciting to share it with people when it does come into reality. So there are those private ones that you just quietly want to keep to yourself, but you can visualize and you can creatively express just in how you're stepping into the identity, how you're behaving, the actions you're taking. Those can be quietly done. Do those outwardly in expression, but you don't have to tell anybody, which is kind of cool because then when it happens, it's like, oh, it's so amazing. And you go, I manifested that. I didn't tell anybody and boom, here it is. So that's a beautiful thing that you can do with expression. The S is for signs. This is where you're going to recognize the synchronicities and external indicators that guide you toward your desired outcome. This step involves paying attention to the subtle messages from the universe, such as repeating patterns, intuitive nudges, or meaningful coincidences. There are no coincidences, but the things that pop out in your life and you go, that matches what I'm manifesting. These signs validate that you're on the right path and provide guidance or reassurance as you move towards your goals. Recording and sharing these signs with others helps you stay aligned with your intentions and trust the process of manifestation. I cannot highlight this enough. Record or share with a safe person who knows you're manifesting. So I have a partner that I manifest with for certain things. So when I have signs, I reach out to her and I go, hey, guess what happened? She's like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. This reinforces because then I'm naming it again, I'm expressing it, and I'm acknowledging the signs are happening. So if you have somebody you trust that you're manifesting with, sharing information, that collective is going to help really supercharge the energy and move things faster. You can also record these, either journal them, have a notebook that you just write down, this is what I'm manifesting, and then you write down the signs. So you can go back and be encouraged when you're not seeing the result as quickly as you would like. Because part of manifesting is letting go. You're going to let go of the outcome. You're going to let go of the how. These are the steps you're going to do to really intentionally put that out into the universe. And then we're going to just let it all go. We're going to say, it's done. And we're just going to forget about it and watch for signs. We're going to talk about it with our expression. We're going to step into the identity and we're just going to, it's already done. It's already done. And that's it. We're not going to focus on how it's going to get done. And we're not going to focus on it's not done yet. Those are going to go away. We're just going to let go. So staying in that energy of it's on its way, watching the signs can really help. T, truth. Now, a lot of people will think, why did you use trust instead of truth? Because truth is reality. These are universal truths. We are manifesting all the time. Manifesting is happening all the time. You're creators. You're creative beings. We are creating all the time. So this is a truth. It's stepping into the truth and having faith in the process of manifestation and your connection to the divine. This step involves surrendering control, releasing doubts, and believing that the universe is working in your favor. Trust requires confidence in both your intentions and the timing of your desires coming to fruition. It encourages patience and understanding that even when things seem unclear, everything is unfolding as it should. Trust allows you to remain calm and aligned with your higher purpose as your manifestation takes shape. Truth means it is what it is. It is happening and it is done. Trust is that faith you put in the process. trusting that you know that it's done. So the truth is, it is. It is. You can bet your life on it. It is done. Trust is trusting that that is true. And I know that can be a little tricky, but this can be a challenging one. I had a hard time trusting myself and trusting my higher self, trusting the divine. I had to work through, again, trauma healing, because a lot of our trauma comes from mistrust. Something happened to us in our lifetime, and now we don't trust. So we have to release that energy, release that from our nervous system, and then we can receive and be open to the truth and open to trusting again. This one can be another one that has a lot of internal work that you end up doing. If you're missing any of these that are in this acronym, intentional manifesting will be challenging. I'm not going to say it's impossible, but it will be very challenging, and it may take longer than you want it to. So meditate, ask, name, identify, be the identity, feel what it feels like to have this done, express, use expression as much as you can, look for the signs, what's going on to bring it to you, and know the truth. Know that it is done. It is a universal truth that it is already done. So my example of this that I found really, really powerful is I sat and I was meditating and asking. One of my manifestations I started last year was I wanted my podcast. I'm starting a business simplified as my podcast, and I wanted it to grow, and I wanted to be known as the number one podcast listened to in my industry, because I know there's a ton of podcasts out there, but I wanted my podcast to be listened to. That was my main manifestation, was just, I want people to listen and really get what they need. I just want to serve the listener. And so I was meditating one day and I said, I would love to know what that manifesting my podcast is really going to mean. And what came to me from my divine self and from the collective was, you are going to receive clients from your podcast. And so then in the naming step, I named that. I said it out loud. I said, clients are coming from my podcast. Clients are coming from my podcast. And I started to identify with that. When I stepped into the identity, I was showing up on my podcast in the identity that I was speaking to clients, that clients are coming from my podcast. The way that I did my episodes shifted. The way that my energy flowed was different. I didn't put as much energy, not action, but energy. I didn't put my energy towards other outlets of marketing. I just knew, it was like, I'm not going to get to tea yet, but I identified that they're coming through my podcast. Boom, that's it. And then I stepped into the feeling. What would that feel like to have people coming through my podcast and becoming clients? How amazing would that be? That I do this show that I love so much, and then boom, people start just dropping in and saying, hey, I want to work with you. And I was like, that's amazing. And I felt that. And then I started expressing it. I started telling people. So colleagues that I worked with, people that were around me, other entrepreneurs that I interact with and everything, my husband, I was like, clients are coming through my podcast. And in the present, clients are coming through my podcast. And then I started watching for the signs, and I was getting messages. I got DM'd by people. Oh my gosh, I'm binge listening to your podcast. I love it. I need to talk to you. I had 3 discovery calls with new clients in a matter of like 2 weeks. I had people messaging me. I had people sharing my podcast. I ended up getting 3 new clients from my podcast. So the signs were people were reaching out to me and saying, I love your podcast. I'm listening to your podcast. And then boom, then they started booking with me to talk to me about working with me. The truth of it is that when I asked, they said, you're going to get clients through your podcast. the truth of that is, yes, it was done. It was happening. It's still happening. And I still use that. That's still a manifestation of mine. People are coming through my podcast. Clients are coming through my podcast. And I will say, to solidify this example, one of my clients that came through my podcast didn't find me anywhere else on the internet. And I have a YouTube channel. I have social media. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Facebook. I have all these other channels. She did not find me on any of those. She came directly from listening to my podcast, and she hired me to coach her. So it works. Intentional manifesting. Really get specific. That is what needs to happen when you are intentionally manifesting. Meditate, ask, name, identity, feel, expression, signs, and truth. If you get stuck on any of these things, that is a place for you to look for deeper awareness, maybe some healing, letting go of some energy blocks, whatever it is that's coming up for you. So hopefully this teaching was helpful to you. I'm going to add this teaching to multiple places. This is actually going into the Circle of Divine Souls is where I'm recording this for, but I'm going to be using it in other places. So if you're watching this teaching in another place, the Circle of Divine Souls is a YouTube channel that you can go to and get more information around manifesting. I am a manifestation guide, and I share my story of what I'm doing and an example of how I'm utilizing intentional manifesting in my life, in my business, and helping others do the same.